Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So it's nearly been 2 weeks since the Disney 100 Weiss Schwarz set has been released, and I think now is a good time to take a look at prices, take a look at those sealed booster box prices, take a look at the raw cards and see how much they are, and perhaps see if anything might be undervalued or overvalued at this point. So we are starting off on Buy, which if you've never been on it, is a Japanese mail forwarding site which allows you to purchase things from Japanese stores that you would otherwise have to get a VPN, change your location to somewhere in Japan. You'd have to get a Japanese phone number. They've made it very difficult, which is why this site exists. You find items and they will then go and buy that item for you and ship it to you internationally with a small fee on top. So something to bear in mind about the prices is that you will have international shipping on top, and you, depending on your country, you've got import fees that might possibly be added on top as well. So I think we should start with sealed box prices. So we want to see these sold ones like this. So 14,000 yen, that is about £88. That's probably about 75 US dollars there. There's another one here for pretty much the same price, slightly more, 14,500, 91 pounds, perhaps 75 to 80 US dollars, something like that. So let's just see if we can confirm it with any other sales. There's another one here for the same price, so definitely looks like that seems to be the going rate. There's one here that's slightly more, but it seems that it came with, yeah, it comes with something here. But let's just take a look. Yeah, it comes with these nice Disney 100 sleeves, so that'd be why that one sold for an extra 1,000 yen or so. So bear in mind, shipping on top, possible imports on top, depending on how many you're buying. And also these could be being purchased by someone in Japan anyway and not internationally. Sometimes there's some price differences between Japan and overseas, so that's always something to bear in mind. So I think in terms of box prices, we should just head over to eBay really quickly and see in the UK what these are selling for. So if you saw any of my other videos leading up to the release, I did briefly look at some pre-orders that sold on eBay before the set came out. They were selling for about 90 or 95 pounds. So that was kind of the price in the UK on release. There was one store I think that sold these boxes for £100. So as we can see here, the most recent sold today is a case fresh box for £149. Now, obviously bear in mind, loose boxes on the second-hand market could be dead boxes. Someone could have bought a case, opened half of it, got lucky and hit their allocated 3 SPs and 1 SSP per case, and then they've got half a case of boxes that they know won't have an SP or an SSP in, and they could sell them. So obviously they are advertising this as case fresh. They could have had multiple cases, but you'd hope in this situation it is genuine. But unless you know the seller, it's really hard to tell. I would at this point recommend only buying from a trusted shop or store or seller that you know they've got a really good reputation. Maybe you've bought Weiss Schwarz from them before and you've got pulls from them, so you know it's genuine. But yeah, loose boxes at this point are, you just have to bear that in mind. It can be very likely that it's a dead box. So that is one box. I need to change this to booster box, otherwise we're going to get loads of raw cards. So yeah, there it is, 149. Another one today, 134. Another one at 132. So it seems like quite a lot around this sort of price. We've got a loose pack here, and again, if you watched my last video, these packs can be weighed, so be careful buying loose packs, especially on the second-hand market. Quite likely they only have a rare inside, or a rare and a double rare at best. So in terms of box prices though, we've got another one today at 125, another one at 135. So there's quite a lot here that they're definitely more expensive than they were on release. And yeah, they've gone up by about 30, roughly about 30, £35 in some cases. So It's had about 30% increase in terms of box prices over here in the UK. And obviously you might be thinking, well, they were selling for £90 here on buy. When you purchase here, if you were to get just one box, you probably have to pay about £20 on top for shipping, which already takes that to £110. If you go over 130, you then have to pay imports, which is roughly about 20 to 22% on top of that. So if you're buying one, you'd be okay, but you I guess compared to eBay, you might save £10-20, but you'd have to possibly wait a little bit longer for the box to arrive. So there's that, and obviously a lot of people probably don't know about this site and about Buy, and if you wanted to return it, if there are any issues, you're very restricted here because it's through a Japanese seller that you can't communicate with. So obviously eBay is a lot more known and trusted, which kind of makes sense as to why there'd be slightly more on here. So yeah, box prices have definitely been going up since release and on these first 2 weeks since the set has come out. So if we now head over to UUT, which in the Weiss Schwarz community is kind of the go-to site if you need to look up Japanese prices for Weiss Schwarz cards. Now, something to bear in mind is that when they're out of stock, you can't always go by that price. With a set like Disney, however, it's still very new, so it's very likely that the price there, even though some cards are sold out, is still quite accurate. But going back, if you're looking at sets that are like 5 years old, obviously if it's sold out, the price is potentially wrong. So if we look at the SSPs, there's actually quite a few sold out on here. We've got one, two, three. We've got nearly all of the Disney princesses have been sold out except for Cinderella, where there is only one copy left. Now, obviously, they sell these raw cards. They're not going to have hundreds and hundreds of copies of these cards, so it's quite common that they sell out often, and perhaps with a second wave coming soon, I believe. It's definitely nowhere near as much as the first wave that when the set was first released, but maybe these numbers will go up a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. Perhaps they're not getting any of the second wave. Perhaps they are. I guess we will see when that happens. But at the moment, the Disney princesses are all sold out except Cinderella. What's really interesting with the SSPs, however, is we've got Mickey Mouse here, which on release was this price, 59,000 yen, which is £356 and $443. So this was the chase card. This was the most expensive SSP, but as you can see down here, the Spider-Man SSP is now at the same price as the Mickey Mouse SSP. They actually have two of them in stock, and they actually only have one Spider-Man SSP in stock. So this is very interesting to see. And if you watched my videos when I was looking at the cards when they were revealed, I actually wasn't a massive fan of the Mickey Mouse card. I think that the gold stamp was maybe a little bit too basic. And I was actually drawn to the Spider-Man card. So it's really nice to see that more people are starting to appreciate this card, because as you can see here, it is just such a unique and nice card. It's got all of these little panels like a comic, and just, yeah, Spider-Man in the middle. I think as a card, it is really, really nice. I've seen one on Instagram that someone pulled, and it with texture on it, it always just looks even better. So yeah, really interesting to see that Mickey Mouse perhaps isn't going to be the chase card. Obviously, we've got that Origin Rare Steamboat Willie card, which is on its own level. But in terms of the SSPs, it is really interesting to see this happening. So yeah, there's not many in stock other than that. We've got only one copy of all of these SSPs in stock. But yeah, I mean, if you compare it to the box prices, considering a box has just sold for nearly £150, you could buy one of the most expensive SSPs for the price of about 2.5 boxes at this point. Now, obviously, in most TCGs, it's always cheaper to buy the cards raw than try to pull them yourself. But I think obviously it's Disney. Some people just want to open it, so I think that's why the box prices are quite high at the moment. And I think with this though, if there is a particular character in this set that you want, I think perhaps opening one box and then trying your luck and then buying the card perhaps is the best thing to do here. You know, if we look at these SPs here, some of these are so cheap, and the pull rates on these are 3 per case, so they actually don't have many in stock. We've only got 2 copies of Tangled, 1 copy of Peter Pan, so all of these ones here are all out of stock. We've got Mary Poppins in stock, but I know that is not a desirable SP, to be honest. Yeah, there's tons that aren't in stock at all. We've got 5 Iron Man in stock, so I'm really surprised to see that Iron Man is in the Weiss Schwarz Marvel set is the chase card, is the most popular card, but maybe it's because of how it's priced. I think it is quite expensive compared to all of these other SPs. So some of these SPs are literally like 20, 30, 40 pounds, so very, very cheap. I think the Iron Man SP is the most expensive, so perhaps that is why there's so many in stock. Perhaps they just priced it wrong, or yeah, it's just too expensive for people to want it. They would rather buy a handful of these other ones instead. So, I mean, if you think about it though, if you come into the set and your favorite character, your favorite film in this set is Lilo and Stitch, you can literally pick up the Lilo and Stitch SP here for £35, $44, which is just a fraction of the price of a booster box. So obviously there isn't an SSP for Lilo and Stitch, but if that's what you're looking to try to pull, you're way better off just buying the card at this point, because the box prices are going up and the raw prices, by the looks of things, haven't really changed much. These are pretty much the same prices, other than that Spider-Man card. These are the same prices that they were when they came out. Now, obviously bear in mind that the Lilo and Stitch SP isn't in stock, so you would have to look on somewhere like Buy or eBay. Of course, you can look on eBay. So maybe it's worth us just quickly checking raw prices on eBay to see where they are, and I should probably put SP on the end. Well, not the start, on the end. And see if we can get any coming up. So yeah, we've got a Goofy here, £60 on auction in the UK that sold today. How does that compare to the prices on UUT? So they have Goofy at, I mean, it's much cheaper on UUT, but bear in mind this is a Japanese site. If you wanted to buy from here, you would have to set up some sort of mail forwarding service in Japan with a site like Tenso. You then have to get a Japanese address. You just have to sign up to this site, which is all in Japanese. I've done it before. I do have an account. Once it's set up, it's really easy, really quick to purchase things. But getting it set up can take a lot of time. If you've never done anything like that, it can take an hour or 2 at least. So bear that in mind. And the fact that you would be paying international shipping on top. Like if you just wanted one Goofy card, yes, it might be 23 or 30 US dollars. Shipping could easily be 15, 20 pounds on top. By the time it comes, it's not far off this price, and you know, you've had to do a lot of sort of like admin to get to that point, right? So yeah, keep that in mind when looking at these prices. But we've got Mandalorian SSP at 181. So where is that on here? It's the SSP. Yeah. Okay, so that's literally pretty much in line with the price on UUT, to be honest, if you were to buy that with postage on top. Yeah, I believe Spider-Man, when it came out, was actually the same price as the Mandalorian card. So yeah, this will be a very interesting one to watch. Maybe I'll just do some follow-up videos as time goes on to see what happens with the cards in the set. So is there any other... Okay, so great example. We were looking at Lilo and Stitch, which was on here, obviously sold out, so you can't buy it, but they had it listed at £35 and it sold today for £102. So quite a big difference there. However, obviously not a lot of people know about UUT. They don't have an account on here. They don't know how to purchase through here. The fact the card's out of stock as well means that you do have to resort to wherever you can find it. And if that is eBay, that is eBay. But if that is the card you're after, if they are the characters and that is the SP, that is your personal chase card. I mean, that's the cheaper than one booster box. Statistically, you know, the chance of you opening one booster box, I mean, getting an SP, I think it's about 1 in 4.5 booster boxes in terms of like statistics, right? So that's your chance of getting an SP, and then to get the SP that you want is very unlikely. And you know, it's always the case if you're just buying one box. But if you did want this card, it's cheaper than a booster box. Personally, I would just buy the card. I think with new sets, what I like to do is normally open a box or open a box or two. If I get something, great, but then if I want to collect the whole set, or if I want to collect one particular card, then I'll go purchase that card. Obviously, with Disney 100, I went a bit over the top. I opened 9 boxes until I hit an SP, which was unlucky, but I really just wanted to pull an SP, and it took 9 boxes. So that was unfortunate, but yeah, I really wanted to have that experience. So yeah, quite a few SPs that have been sold in the last few days. And yeah, I think, I mean, as you can see, box prices are high. Raw prices are, I would say, still fairly low. Like, even though the Lilo and Stitch SP card here has sold for, I mean, over double what it is on the Japanese Yute site, I still think that is a good price when you compare it to the price of one single booster box, which is also quite likely to be a dead box if you're buying it on the second-hand market. So yeah, bear that in mind, and I hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.